Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. The Delhi conundrum is becoming an increasingly vexing problem. For the very first time in Indian political history, we have a situation where a sitting chief minister is in jail and is allegedly running the government from jail too. Aam Aadmi Party's insistence is making many legal minds scratch their heads. If something like this is legally tenable, is this practically possible? And not least of all, is this morally correct? Well, even as the Aam Aadmi Party insists there is constitutionally no bar and therefore Arvind Kejriwal will continue as head of government, Delhi LG Mr. Saxena has thundered that Delhi will not be allowed to be run from jail. Does that mean he will intervene? Will he invoke Section 239AB to declare breakdown of constitutional machinery? Opposition BJP has already attacked the Aam Aadmi Party over their lack of faith in anyone but Kejriwal to take over the reins of the government, even as their party leaders seemingly jostle in public to stake claim as the rightful heir to the party convener. For the public though, the only pertinent question is how long can this continue? What would be better for Delhi and Delhiites? We'll take that question to our guests in just a bit. First up, the Delhi High Court is expected to pass an order on Arvind Kejriwal's plea challenging the ED arrest. While the ED claims the arrest has been as per law, Kejriwal of course has termed it illegal. So let me just first break down, even as we await that order, what both sides are saying. So the ED has said that Arvind Kejriwal is the kingpin, the key conspirator according to them in the excise policy scam. During the hearing in High Court, Kejriwal's counsel has said that the chief minister is being charged vicariously, that he particularly has no role, but he's being charged because he's the head of the government. ED has said that Kejriwal has demanded kickbacks from favors from the South Group, which is an accused in this case, a charge rejected by Kejriwal's counsel, who accused the ED of unfairness and called it a malified prosecution. ED has said that Kejriwal has been named by other accused in the case. Kejriwal in this case, or his counsels, have likened such approvers to Trojan horses, even drew comparisons with the infamous Jaychand, who is said to have betrayed Indian rulers by allying with invaders. Now, ED claims that Kejriwal has disobeyed summons, that of course is public knowledge, but also that he's been evasive during his grilling. He hasn't been cooperative. On that, Arvind Kejriwal's counter has been that non-cooperation has become the most abused phrase by the probe agency. We'll have to wait and see which way the court decides. But while Kejriwal fights the legal battle in courts, there is another big battle over the politics of his decision to not quit. Delhi LG VK Saxena has now made it clear in his first public statement that he will not let Delhi run from jail. BJP has complained both to the LG in the past, and of course today they've gone to meet the Delhi police as well, asking the latter to probe how the CM is allegedly passing written orders to ministers while in custody. But Aam Aadmi Party maintains there is no constitutional provision that bars a chief minister from running his government from inside jail. He has found support from the other Aam Aadmi Party chief minister, Mr. Maan, as well on this. Now, BJP today also launched a barrage of questions over Chief Minister's wife, Sunita Kejriwal, hosting a press briefing while looking like she is seated on Chief Minister's official chair. Manoj Tiwari, BJP MP, for example, has alleged that Arvind Kejriwal wants his wife to become the next Chief Minister, which is not acceptable to the rest of the party. He added that Sunita Kejriwal is giving interview while sitting on the Chief Minister's chair. So he drew attention to the backdrop of the press briefing. Vijender Gupta, BJP MLA, also asked under what capacity is Srimati Sunita Kejriwal using the same official setting. He said the conduct of the Chief Minister and his wife is utterly constitutional. This, of course, is the big vexing issue. Meanwhile, Union Minister Anurag Thakur has invoked memories of how Lalu Prasad Yadav was succeeded by his wife Rabri Devi when he was caught in the fodder scam. Now, even as all of this tussle is going on, the larger question for Delhi and Delhiites is if this is setting a good precedent. There's a reason why no politician has really gone down this road in the past. Is this the right call? Should Delhi be spared from this ignominy? And how long can this run legally and constitutionally? That's the big debate coming up.
लोगों की समस्याओं का समाधान तो होना ही चाहिए। इस बात पर भी केंद्र सरकार ने आपके सीएम पर केस कर दिया। क्या ये लोग दिल्ली को तबाह करना चाहते हैं? क्या ये लोग चाहते हैं कि लोग अपनी समस्याओं से जूझते रहें?
आज फिर मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल की वाइफ सुनीता केजरीवाल मीडिया के सामने आकर एक नया ड्रामा रचने की कोशिश कर रही थी। ये जो विक्टिम कार्ड खेलने की कोशिश की जा रही है ना,
Let's go across to our guest joining us. Neeti Jain, spokesperson of the BJP, Abhinandita Mathur from the Aam Aadmi Party joining us. Kapil Sankla is lawyer and Rashid Kidwai, author and senior journalist with us as well. Abhinandita, I will begin with you. Many critics of the Aam Aadmi Party say that the message you're sending out is that you are keeping the party and possibly the interests of one person above what is right for Delhi and Delhiites. There is a reason no other politician, no matter how powerful and claiming to have as big a mandate, has ever gone down this road. So how would you justify this insistence to continue by Arvind Kejriwal?
Shivani, I agree that I don't think our country or any leader has gone down this road, and here I'm referring to Mr. Modi and his regime. I think the current situation is extraordinary. I don't think that we have ever seen this kind of political vendetta in the country ever before, and we must keep in mind that all these bogus allegations that have been fabricated, this whole narrative that was fabricated in the BJP headquarters perhaps, where ED is playing a very key role in this drama, would have actually been exposed in this way had it not been for the Honorable Supreme Court's judgment with the electoral bonds. What I'm trying to say is that there is a very, very clear link between the allegations of the ED, the way in which accused are becoming approvers, and how they pay 60 crore rupees to the BJP and get bail. How they get bail again is because the ED does not oppose bail. So all this is very clear for anybody who has been following the news to see. Look, this is unprecedented, and I don't think that the people of Delhi have any question about whether or the Aam Aadmi Party has done something or not. You go to the street and you will know that everybody knows this is vendetta. In fact, I must. No,
I think it's a bit of a stretch to suggest that everybody is in favor of this. I don't think we have any mechanism as it stands right now to really gauge the public's mood. But I get the political statement you're making. I still do ask you, Abhinandita, as a follow-up. Don't you think, like every accused in any case, particularly cases of corruption at places of high office, have always claimed innocence? Arvind Kejriwal is not the first one, right? Some of them have gone on to be convicted, some possibly not. My point is, isn't the fact that Delhi cannot be run from jail, the Chief Minister cannot possibly practically discharge his duties when he has access to no files, when he can meet no ministers? Isn't it wrong to put Delhi through this? This is not good governance.
Well, honestly, the way the BJP has been trying to stall governance work in Delhi is not unknown. I don't think it is a problem. Look, like I said earlier, I'm answering your question. Like I said earlier, that these are very extraordinary circumstances.
Okay.
And I don't think that, firstly, this is, he's not been convicted. He's not in jail in that sense.
Sure.
He's in ED custody. You have to make that distinction that it's been 2 years since the ED has been investigating this case. There's nothing that they have not done. They've kept Manish Sisodia in jail for a year and a half. They've put Sanjay Singh in jail. Nothing, no link has been found except for that 60 crore that has gone from Mr.
Again,
Reddy.
all of that are arguments to be made in court, but I'm asking you a slightly different question. And of course, nobody can deny that you have the full right to defend Arvind Kejriwal or any other ministers from your erstwhile cabinet on what has transpired. But I want to bring in Neeti Jain as well. Neeti, you know, it may not have happened earlier, but it's quite clear that there is clearly no constitutional bar either, unless, you know, we see circumstances change, which is why there is a reason why nobody has been able to object to it legally, constitutionally yet.
Yeah, I think it was unimaginable for anybody to think that even after all of these charges on corruption and even after the arrest, anybody would want to go and still run the government from jail. I think it was just supremely unimaginable for anybody to think. But the point is, this is a party that came in by blaming everybody of corruption. They came in क्योंकि ये राजनीति बदलने आए थे, and yet they are still sitting inside of the jail and they want to run everything. And a few points here, they said they have the world-class model of everything, and within 2 days of Arvind Kejriwal going in jail, there is apparently no water in Delhi, and apparently all the medicines in Delhi have vanished somehow, and he is supremely worried about it. The second part being, if this is not such a huge issue and he can run, why did you ask for resignations from Manish Sisodia and Satyendra Jain? Why did you push them under the bus and not yourself? So this is an entire party that wants to create a martyr out of themselves after doing all of the charges that are put against them.
Abhinandita, I think wants to respond particularly to one of the questions
just one point.
Yeah. No, I think I'll give you more time, but I think Abhinandita wants to respond to some of the questions you're asking. Abhinandita, do you want to respond why other resignations were sought and why Chief Minister is above those same standards?
You know, it is very funny that the BJP has been asking questions about our internal functioning, whereas there is absolutely nothing left in the BJP.
We're really not. We're worried about Delhi.
And yes, we are also worried about
Delhi. We really
Delhi.
don't care about your internal functioning. You get in somebody who does not have a constitutional post to sit on the Chief Minister's chair and make that statement. That is your business. Fine. But the point is, you can say ED is compromised, but are you saying even the courts are compromised? Are you saying the courts are compromised because not one leader of yours has been able to get a bail from any of the courts?
Is made up
this
of.
This is not internal functioning. You are standing in the Katgara of the people of Delhi.
Legacy,
so please don't try and make yourself martyrs.
Leaving behind lucrative careers to contribute to the country. If it was not for the Aam Aadmi Party, there would not be a conversation about public education,
to start thekas in every city without taking due permission. To take kickbacks from excise policies. Is that why you all left your jobs? Looks quite lucrative to me for you guys. It looks quite lucrative, the kind of kickbacks you've been getting through this entire excise policy. That's all right. But my simple question, madam, is you can blame all the agencies, but are you also saying that the courts are compromised because none of your leaders have been able to get a bail from any of the courts?
No, it's
so please don't put all the agencies, all the authorities, everything in the Katgara and just say कि सब लोग compromised है, हम बेचारे. You are not becharas. The kind of corruption that you have gone through, I think you are answerable to the Delhi people, and you are answerable. This is not your internal matter.
You know, I think that is a fair point. One second, can I just come in? I think it's a fair point that this is not about how the party is run. Nobody has the right to question that. AAP is free to make those decisions, but this is about a Chief Minister's post. Kapil, I want to bring you in. There seems to be a lot of fog about what cannot be done. Legally, there seems to be no precedent, but are there any sections that the LG could look at? Today, he's made a statement that he's not going to let the government be run from jail. That sounds like an ominous statement for the Aam Aadmi Party position. But what can he do?
You're absolutely right. But before that, could I just answer what Ms. Mathur had said? Unfortunately, she was incorrect in her assertion that there is nothing against Mr. Kejriwal. In fact, there is much to be said. You see, during Mr. Sisodia's arguments on charge, when the charge sheet was filed, it is a part of the charge sheet where Mr. Kejriwal was named, and it was specifically by name, saying that he had met somebody from the Southern Lobby. The Southern Lobby person had met somebody who was financing them. Since the person who was financing them did not believe the credibility of the gentleman, it is a part of the charge sheet of Mr. Sisodia that Mr. Kejriwal went on a FaceTime and said he is my child, ya ye mera bachcha hai, or something to that effect, or he's a person I trust. And thereafter, the conversations took place where the money was exchanged, and the money was thereafter sent to Aam Aadmi Party. So, madam, I am not on that. I am on the point that you said there is nothing against Mr. Kejriwal. What I am saying is, these allegations, as per you, were made in the charge sheet of Mr. Sisodia months and months and months back. And therefore, you had the opportunity to meet them. Unfortunately, not only you kept silent about it, but after Mr. Kejriwal was sent not 1, not 2, not 3, but 9 notices to join investigation by ED, he refused to join investigation. Now, if he is an Aam Aadmi, a normal man, a common man, do you think a common man will dare not to join investigation even a local Thana person calls you? And this is the ED. So if he does not join investigation, what else will an investigating officer do? He's going to come and arrest you. This is exactly what happened. But after 9 notices, after, there will be specific allegations against him, forget going to ED. You could have taken your defense and gone to the police, gone to the court under 156(3) and said, listen, this is what is in my favor. ED is not accepting it. Please monitor the investigation. You don't even do that. You could have gone to the High Court under 482 saying that please quash the allegations against me. Look the bucket loads of evidence that I have. Please protect me. You did not do that. You would have gone under 32 to the Honorable Supreme Court to say that none of the parties are hearing me. But you refuse to do that. So therefore, you do not go to the trial court. You do not go to the MM. You do not go to the High Court. You do not go to the Supreme Court. After 9 notices, you're arrested and then you're crying foul. I don't know why. I have all respect for law and respect for you, but you had the law with you. You could have gone to the court. You refused to go to the court.
No,
so
but what happens in the future now? There is a lot of, the fate of Arvind Kejriwal, Kapil, is hanging, of course, in the legal balance. And we can make all the arguments outside of court. It makes no difference. Do you feel there is, constitutionally, there seems to be no bar? Or can he be stopped, even if it's the first time? Can he be stopped from doing what he's doing?
So the law as it stands is that there is no bar for him to continue as there is no precedent to the effect where somebody actually stood his ground once he was arrested as well. So till now what has been done, and in the matters that I have also done that you're aware of, the Home Minister of Haryana, on moral grounds, a sitting minister would resign to say, I will prove my innocence and come back. This has happened. These are precedences, including the cases that I have done, which you're aware of. But in this case, if Mr. Kejriwal does not resign, there is no stopping him. But there are 2 very special things about Delhi. One is what is not applicable anywhere else. One is the Government of National Capital Territories of Delhi Act of 1991, which is fundamentally a very interesting act because Delhi is also, of course, the capital of India. So therefore, there are certain powers and responsibilities given to the Lieutenant Governor. Now, it is a matter of interpretation. What are the powers of the Lieutenant Governor? Because the Constitution as it is today safeguards the President of India and the Lieutenant Governor and keeps them, so to say, above the law. But it does not even protect the Prime Minister or a Chief Minister who can be arrested.
Right.
Terms and conditions apply. So therefore, as far as the Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Act is concerned, the powers of the LG, in my view, also are in certain cases to take over the running and functioning of the state of Delhi, because this is not just a state, this is also the capital of India.
Yeah, and
the second, to the best of my knowledge, the second, very quickly, transaction of business rules. Now, the transaction of business rules that were created way back in 1993 also lay down the procedure for conduct of business by Delhi government. In this also, there is you have to take the permission or consideration of the LG, whose decision is final in certain circumstances. So therefore, as far as my understanding is that Delhi being a uniquely situated, and there are these one rule and one act that probably give more power to the LG.
Yes, and there's a reason why Delhi is unique, right? Because it functions as the national capital too. But
Yes.
I don't want to get into that debate. But you know, morally and politically, Rashid, is it also not like pulling wool over the eyes of your public when you suggest that you are actually functioning as a chief minister proper from inside jail, when we all know he doesn't have access to files, he's not really meeting these ministers, he only has access to his lawyer or his family at best for half an hour a day. How are you doing this? I mean, this is a lot of positioning, but it's almost like pulling wool in front of people's eyes.
Shivani, there is a legal side of the entire thing and there is a political side. I don't understand if Mr. Kejriwal is an accused, he is guilty, he has done a lot of wrongdoing vis-a-vis Liquorgate. What is preventing custodians of law, in this case central government? Central government, Shivani, if you remember when Supreme Court said that recently, when Supreme Court said that, you know, Delhi has a full-fledged elected government and it should be allowed to function, the central government brought, a Delhi Amendment Act and got it passed, giving, you know, supreme powers to the Lieutenant Governor. What is the duty of Lieutenant Governor? What is the duty of Home Minister of India? If there is a constitutional breakdown, why is it not acting against Mr. Kejriwal, dismissing him, imposing President's rule? This is because there is election time. The BJP is fearful of a, some kind of electoral, backlash, and therefore they are not doing it. So it's like a, bit of a pehle aap. Let me also tell you, Shivani, this is a whole history of it. In India, you see, this is a peculiar nature of our political system. That many people who are accused of corruption charges or go to jail, come out politically stronger. I can cite example of, Jayalalitha twice, thrice it happened with her. Pandit Sukram was caught in telecom and with lots of telecom scam, with a lot of money, kept winning from, Mandi even after he was convicted. So this has been a, legacy of that. And I think the BJP has, find itself
but Rashid, while I take your point, and I'll get Neeti to respond on that, aren't the very exacting political standards that Arvind Kejriwal himself espoused when he was entering politics coming back to haunt him? I mean, who is that politician that asked for probity in politics to the extent that every accused should give up their position? And look where he is today. People don't forget that so easily. It was barely 10 years ago.
See, Shivani, we need to be, devil's advocate. There is a world of difference between, mulzim and mujrim, accused and a convicted person.
No, but those are the standards Arvind Kejriwal set for his political opponents at the time, that pending probe, you should quit.
Yeah. No. What I'm saying is, there is a lot of things that, I remember, year after year, Delhi BJP kept talking about or, demanding or promising in the election manifesto full statehood for Delhi. They have gone back. So politicians have a right to live and learn. So you cannot be finding faults with them.
But you can't go back to your basic political plank, which was anti-corruption, can you? Your policy decisions may change.
Be careful. I'm not giving Mr. Kejriwal a clean sheet. Mr. Kejriwal has not been formally named in a FIR. There is no. See, that is what I'm saying.
I think now it's fairly clear. The ED finds him an accused. But Neeti, I do want you to respond.
Just one last thing.
Yeah.
You see, Shivani, he kept. You see, ED did not tell, and ED has got a whole history of it. They don't tell whether you are a witness or you are an accused till the very last moment, till you are nabbed actually.
No, so that be it. That's just the way it goes then. That doesn't give him an excuse for not coming up for those 9 summons beforehand. But Neeti, respond to that. If you believe this is such a constitutional travesty, why is the LG not doing anything? What's taking him so long? Is it also not because you fear, you don't want to be seen as taking away the government from Arvind Kejriwal's hand? Already there are murmurs about, this whole thing about arresting him backfiring?
No, Shivani, I think there is a process for everything. The LG has said somewhere today that the government is not going to run from jail. So I'm sure if there is a process, it is going to happen sooner or later. But the problem is that when you come back and blame everything on the central government, had we done it the day he was arrested, these are the guys who would stand on the roads and the studios and come out and say this is a fascist government, ye to chahte hi yahi the karna. So everything has a process, everything will go as per the process. But again, the point that you raised, I think the Kejriwal and his party has been entirely exposed because these were the guys who raised questions on everybody's corruption, then they did nothing about it. and then they said hum rajniti badalne aaye hain, and the way they have changed rajniti, I don't think any other party has done that. The kind of corruption cases that are going on, and the kind of shamelessness that the Kejriwal and party are indulging in. They're trying to become martyrs after doing all of these things. Man, you definitely are not martyrs, and I think you definitely are answerable to the people of Delhi about everything you are doing.
But can I ask you, Neeti, Sunita Kejriwal held a press conference today and she said that Arvind Kejriwal is going to reveal in court tomorrow where this excise scam, alleged money is, because their main contention is that no money has been found in the hands of none of their ministers, neither Manish Sisodia nor Sanjay Singh, and certainly not in any raid on Arvind Kejriwal. What do you make of that expose that Sunita Kejriwal is talking about?
You know, like I said, we have been hearing about these exposes before they came into power. Kahi bhi constitutional club se, kabhi Rajghat se, all of those exposes have happened. But the facts remain the fact. They can come up, they're more than free to come out with more exposes, but the point is that the facts are there. The organizations in the country have taken action. The courts are listening to the matter. Let them decide. We are with whatever
Speaking
the court
of the
decides.
courts, we are awaiting an order from the Delhi High Court this evening on the plea by Arvind Kejriwal that this is an illegal arrest. Now, that's going to be a very important plea by him. We haven't yet heard of the order, but I just want to ask you a hypothetical question, Abhinandita. If this plea was to be rejected, if the arrest is not deemed illegal, if there is no relief for Arvind Kejriwal, don't you think his position of continuing as the Chief Minister will become even more tenable? Wouldn't you have to rethink this strategy?
Shivani, it's important to realize that there is one legal aspect to this entire thing, and it is happening within a political context. So that is we cannot lose sight of that. Like I said, that it's as new for us as it is for you. These are unprecedented times. And to answer your question, we actually are looking forward more to the expose that Mr. Kejriwal will do in court tomorrow as he defends himself. And I think that, let's wait and watch. And as we decide what internally we decide, we will let you know. But there is one thing that I really want to ask the BJP spokesperson, and it appears to me that she's a lawyer. She must answer because the public needs to know this link between the Reddy giving 60 crore to the BJP after he becomes approver and gets bail, a very important aspect. And there are other lawyers on the panel that to get bail in a PMLA case, what prevents it usually is also because the ED opposes it, and everybody knows that the law is such that the lower courts will not grant bail. Now, did the ED oppose Reddy's bail?
What was the bail asked for? On what grounds? Could you remind Abhinandita?
Well, I don't know what bail, what grounds. It was not medical. It was not whatever it was. I mean, Sisodia has been asking for bails on medical grounds and so on. But it is very interesting. You look at the timeline. But I think it's important if the legal experts can just tell us why do they think.
I think the more political question to ask, which I'll give Neeti 30 seconds to respond, is on that bond allegation that you've been making. One of the accused turns approver, gets bail. I don't want to get into the conditions of the bail granted because there are always different circumstances and conditions. But it seems the ED did not object. Neeti, is that not suspicious?
Shivani, the point is that the entire party has been talking about this certain matter, and it has been answered to for a very long time. But again, the point is that if you have sufficient evidence, the courts are going to grant you bail, and that is the bottom line that I have been mentioning. That is the bottom line. If you have sufficient evidence, even on the first summons, rather than waiting for the 9 summons, you could just go say, this is my evidence and you need to give me protection. None of that was done. You kept escaping 9 summons from the ED, and then you come out and say ki hum bechare hain.
What is your explanation on Reddy giving 60 crore, turning approver, somebody in his family joining the BJP, all happening in a timeline? You did not.
Are you asking me to doubt the courts? No. Are you asking me to doubt the court's intelligence or the court's wisdom to give bail to somebody. I'm not going to do that. The court saw the evidence.
No,
they
I'm
give them the
only
bail.
asking
So,
because
actually, that just
law
I've
are-
run out of time. But I think, of course, the big...
no, you can keep on coming out with
The
allegations that
big
doesn't work
update
like
in this
that.
story
And
will
even
be,
in the
even
court,
before the
it's
bail
only-
hearing comes up tomorrow, is what the Delhi High Court decides in terms of the very premise of the arrest and the charges. And if there is no relief there, it doesn't augur very well for Arvind Kejriwal personally, and of course, maybe a rethink within the Aam Aadmi Party would be required. I do thank all of our guests for joining.